Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, where's my brethren all around the world watching this video? Hope you're having a great day today as you're tuning in. Make sure you do yourself a damn favor and hit that subscribe button so you can get all the alerts, all the videos, just everything that comes on True School Sports as it happens, and you won't be behind. Now, interestingly enough, we had Manny Pacquiao versus Adrien Broner this past Saturday. It was a very, very interesting matchup. It was a fun build-up of the fight, going into the fight. But, there was a lot of questions on both sides, Obviously, from the Manny Pacquiao side of things, this is his first fight at 40 years old. He's been kind of balancing boxing and his congressional duties over there in the Philippines. For Broner, it was the whole, will he let his hands go thing again. And the fight pretty much went the way I thought it would go, and the way many people thought it would go. We thought Manny Pacquiao would outwork Broner, probably hurt Broner a couple times, but not finish him because Broner's just too durable. And, for all the problems Broner does have, the guy has a great chin. He's hard to get out of there. Not an easy guy to get out of there, and he doesn't really give you a lot to work with. So Pacquiao wasn't able to get the knockout against Broner, and Broner wasn't able to find the right shots against Pacquiao as he was talking about in the build-up. So Pacquiao just ultimately cruised to a pretty comfortable, pretty easy, unanimous decision victory. So no surprise there. What I really wanted to say in this video was this, man, because in the build to this fight, there were still a lot of people that thought Adrien Broner had a chance to win. And look, if you follow me on YouTube for any amount of time, anytime you've seen me make an Adrien Broner video, there's always a couple of things I always say. I always use the phrase that I use a lot with a lot of fighters in boxing, and that's once you bake a cake, it's a damn cake. And that basically just means once a fighter is set in his ways of how he fights, normally he doesn't really change that often. That's number one. And number two, I've always said that Adrien Broner was an overhyped, overglorified C-class fighter. Straight up. A guy with nice hand speed, but slow feet. And I don't really think, I've never thought ever in his whole career that he was as talented as a lot of people think. I just think the reason we even believe that in the first place was it's just a result of good matchmaking. And I think in this fight, I'll say it, Adrien Broner, before, during, and after the fight, in all three instances, he validated every last one of his haters. He validated people like myself. I'm not even going to say I hate Adrien Broner. I actually think he's quite good for boxing sometimes, but I'm saying for people who don't really rate him that highly as a fighter, he validated all of our criticisms of him. This guy in this fight, Pacquiao, not only did he fail to let his hands go, I think it was worse than usual. It was literally worse than usual. The guy just wasn't looking for anything. I mean, Pacquiao was out jabbing him. Pacquiao, for the first 4 rounds, it wasn't like the first 4 rounds. Pacquiao wasn't all that sharp. Edit that out. Pacquiao wasn't all that sharp for the first 4 rounds. A lot of times he would throw these 3-4 punch combinations, and he was rushing the shots. Broner had a lot of opportunity early on in the fight if he would have just let his hands go and tried to find the right shots. Do something differently in this fight, but we didn't see him doing. We didn't even see him try to do anything differently in this fight. It was just a continuation of what he's done in all of his big fights, which is, going there with his guard up, looking for a big shot. He didn't find it. Had the odd, 2 or 3 punch combination that did land. There were a couple rounds where Broner would throw the flashy ha ha, and it would land on Pacquiao flush. So it wasn't like he was in there with it wasn't like he couldn't find the right shots against Pacquiao, but there just wasn't enough of them. And then he had the audacity after the fight to say that he won the fight, he beat that boy, they robbed him, all this stuff. They didn't rob you, bro. And it just goes to show you, man, and I've said this all the time in my videos, not only was he always an overglorified C-class fighter, but even more importantly, Adrien Broner is literally what happens in boxing, when you enable someone. He's been enabled his whole career. His hand has been held his whole career. The guy, you go back early in his career, he's gotten gift decision after gift decision, going all the way back to when he was fighting on ESPN Friday Night Fights, when he fought Fernando Quintero, got outboxed that fight. Everybody knew he lost, got the decision. Fought Ponce de Leon, You know, a lot of people thought he lost that fight. Got the decision. Fought Paul Malignaggi. You know, I thought he won the fight, but you know, could have lost that fight. Got the decision. Fought who else? Adrien Granados. You know, it was supposed to be a 12-round fight. They moved it to 10. They changed the dates. They played with the scales. And he still almost lost to Granados, who was not like an elite puncher in the welterweight division. And Granados, a lot of people thought Granados won the fight. Got to get decision. So it's just been like a lot of that for Adrien Broner. It's been a lot of having the weights accustomed to him. Everything has been catered to him in his career. But then he has the audacity to tell Jim Gray, oh, they was against me, they was this, they was that. When in actuality, no fighter has been pampered and had their hand held more and has been given more opportunities than Adrien Broner. I mean, for crying out loud. This is a guy that in his last 3 fights, you know, he had a fight with Granados, which I thought he lost. A lot of people thought he lost that fight. There's that fight. Then there was a fight with Mikey Garcia. Got outclassed Mikey Garcia. Then he fought Jesse Vargas to a draw. A lot of people thought he could have lost that fight as well. You know, so he hasn't even been looking good at the last 3 fights. He really hasn't done anything to warrant getting a fight Manny Pacquiao in the last 3 fights. But he got a fight Manny Pacquiao, and it's these kind of opportunities that I put Adrien Broner in this position of entitlement. And he's never look. For those of you out there who still, even after this fight, have any hope of this man ever being a world-class fighter, I've been saying it for a long time now. He is not going to be a world-class fighter because, quite frankly, he was never a true elite world-class, you know, welterweight. Maybe in the lighter divisions, he was that because he let his hands go in the lighter divisions. He fought in a style that was more suited for him. But at welterweight, he'll never be a world-class fighter. Absolutely not, because the guy, for all the talent that he does have, he's not fighting the fight that works for him. He's trying to be Floyd. He's trying to be someone else, and it's really unfortunate, man. You lost to a fighter, Manny Pacquiao, who I still rate very highly. You know, I don't think there's any shame in losing to Manny Pacquiao. I think a lot of guys lose Manny Pacquiao. That's why a lot of these guys don't want to fight him. Straight up, a lot of these guys don't want to fight him. And if they do, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. You know, like for example, Gervonta Davis just called him Manny Pacquiao. I'll be doing a video on that soon too. He's not going to want that. Like, he's not going to want that. But it's the crazy thing is, the older he gets, the more crafty he gets. Like, Manny Pacquiao in this fight against Broner showed that, like, look, I'm known for my punch. I'm known for my combinations, but I can beat fighters with the jab, and he was doing that in this fight with Broner. He was beating him with a jab. So you know, it was a good performance from Manny Pacquiao. It wasn't the most exciting performance of his career, but it was definitely an effective performance. You know, he definitely had his moments. But as for Broner, man, like, it's just like people are now starting to see what I've been saying for all these years. Like, and it's not that I hate the guy. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate anybody. You know, I think, you know, I respect him. He's been in the ring with some really good fighters. He's challenged himself. So you can't say he hasn't fought anybody. But I'm saying the experience he got to prepare for those fights, it failed him majorly because he was handed titles his whole career. He was given praise he did not deserve early in his career. He was being compared to Floyd Mayweather early in his career. He was getting credit for things that other fighters wouldn't get credit for. Like, for example, when he fought Maidana, right? And he got knocked down against Maidana. You know, they said, okay, he was tough, he has heart. Okay, yeah, he does. He is tough. He does have heart. We're not going to take that away from him. But he was getting, like, the way people talk about it, like, he was getting, like, extra credit for being tough and having heart. Like, damn, like, he's a fighter. Like, he should be tough and have heart. We should expect that from all fighters. And he showed that against Maidana. But it's like, they use it as a means to say he could beat other fighters. Like, oh, he was tough against Maidana, so he didn't be able to. No, that's tough. Being tough can only get you so far in boxing. You gotta have the skills to go with the toughness. You can't just have the toughness and the skills, and you can't have the skills with the toughness. You gotta have both. And Broner has the skills, but they're not applied properly. You see, they're not applied properly, and to be quite honest, he's always been a bit overrated. And if you've ever just looked at his fights, going back then, go look at his fights when he fought Quintero. Start there. If you've never seen him fight Fernando Quintero on ESPN Friday Night Fights, I would highly advise anybody watching this video, go watch that fight. The same problems he had with his footwork now, he had them back then. They were just less pronounced back then because he had way flashier. He had more hand speed. He was way just willing to let his hands go, so he could mask a lot of his deficiencies when he fought down at those lower weights. Same thing when he fought like Ponce de Leon. Same thing when he had like the great performance against DeMarco. But as he moved up, as the caliber of fighter stepped up, he wasn't able to step up to that level. And again, I say it, you know, he validated all of his haters in this fight, and it makes it even worse because when you're a top, you know, name in boxing, it's easy to be cool about things when things are going your way. But when you lose, that's when we really see your character. And, like, for example, take Badou Jack, for example. We fought on the same card. Badou Jack lost the fight to Marcus Brown, had a head clash, could complain about a million things. He literally had a million reasons to complain that night. But did he complain? No. He said, look, I had a head clash. I felt very weak in the fight. But Marcus Brown was the better man. You know, he didn't say, oh, well, the head clash happened, so that's why I lost the fight. No, he said, I lost the better man. And he did. He did on the night because Marcus Brown was the better man. Broner is not doing that. Broner, not only did he wild out in the post-fight interview, but he's still wilding out right now as we speak. He's on Instagram. He's screenshotting text messages from his friends saying that, yeah, they robbed you and it was politics, and it's just making everything worse for Broner. So look, I don't wish bad on no fighter. I don't wish bad on no man. But I really think it'd be good if boxing did the right thing and made Adrien Broner. If boxing would just stop holding his hand, stop rewarding him for things he hasn't really earned as far as what he's done in the ring. You know, he hasn't won any of his big fights. Would not be getting these opportunities against Pacquiao and all these guys if he wasn't this boisterous personality. So I just think, like, a lot of times, like, boxing has to stop rewarding the wrong things. Boxing has to stop rewarding the wrong things. And Adrien Broner, as far as his last 4 to 5 fights have gone, he's been a very mediocre fighter, and boxing has been rewarding mediocrity. It's almost like boxing, to me, it's almost been like watching my favorite team in the English Premier League, Everton. Everton rewards mediocrity all the time. And it's like, same thing with Broner. They're rewarding mediocrity. And I just hope, like, from this point forward, man, like, no more headlining fights, no more, like, make him fight some undercards, make him fight some top contenders, make him fight some of these guys. Force him to actually take the game seriously, and if he takes the game seriously, maybe I think he could actually be better for it. But I mean, I don't know. I think he's kind of set in his ways. We've seen the whole Adrien Broner thing. We've seen Adrien Broner lose, say he's not gonna lose. You know, when 2020 rolls around, he'll say that 2020 is his year to take over boxing and all this stuff, and people will buy into it. And it's like the boy who cried wolf. He is the boy who cried wolf, and he will continue to cry wolf until he can never longer cry wolf. And I just hope that PBC, Al Heyman, and all parties involved just do the right thing and stop rewarding him for his mediocrity, because it's ridiculous. But as for the fight in general, I thought I was a good performance by Manny Pacquiao. I'll have more on that coming up in my next video, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Adrien Broner validates all of his critics, haters, and detractors right in the Manny Pacquiao fight. And he didn't come to beat Manny Pacquiao. Let's call a spade a spade. Like I said in the build-up to this fight, he wasn't gonna come to beat Manny Pacquiao. He came to survive. He came to pick up a check, and it was just a really underwhelming performance. You know, I was really hoping for a good performance by AB, and I was hoping for him to shut me up. But he's in fact giving myself and people like me more ammunition. So I wish him the best with his career, but you know, he blew a big opportunity against Pacquiao. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, like I say in every single one of my videos. You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.